City Council, Mayor, my name is Bill Durland, and apparently I'm the last to be able to talk with you, so that should put a smile on your face, if anything might. And on another positive note, before I begin, I have about a 5-minute presentation. I wanted to mention that I'm co-chair of the Colorado Springs ACLU, and we're very happy that Richard Myers, the new police chief, has agreed to accept our invitation to be the main speaker at our annual meeting on the topic, the challenging role of policing in a free society, on May 14th, 7 p.m. at Colorado College. So we hope that all of you and everyone in the audience will come to this very fascinating event. Although I am co-chair of Colorado Springs ACLU and Peace Program Director of the Pikes Peak Justice and Peace Commission, and by the way, the one who schedules the events and who has the record on what we organize and what we participate in, and as also a city council member who has sat, like you have, elsewhere in Colorado for many, many hours on a weekly basis on these meetings, I am not here in those capacities, but I'm here to speak as an individual, which we all were on March 17, 2007, as we walked in the St. Patrick's Day Parade with permit and by invitation. As I understood it, both as an organizer at the Pikes Peak Justice Commission and an individual, we were not there as part of any organization. I think there may, I will mention in a minute, there may be some confusion because of the presentations by the Justice and Peace Commission on several times in the last couple of weeks that might falsely give the impression that the Pikes Peak Justice and Peace Commission organized, planned, orchestrated, and thereafter has presented in concert what has taken place. I personally, as the one who does those organizings, find that to be erroneous. We were not there as part of any organization, but simply there individually to walk, not march, not protest, I'm familiar with those things, but to commemorate, in my case, one of the favorite people that I have, St. Patrick, and to have a good time. That was my intention, that was my impression, and that's what happened until the event took place. I'm 25% Irish, and that's a good reason to have a good time on St. Patrick's Day in Colorado Springs, as a couple of people here may also understand. And as a 76-year-old retired ethics and logic philosophy professor and civil liberties attorney, I've given considerable thought recently on the crucial issues which precipitated this conflict. Having been one of those arrested and charged with intentionally obstructing passage in assembly, I see a couple of errors, and there are many, and people before me have commented on those. But what I want to underline is that this was not an official Justice and Peace event. I planned those events. I planned the forum that took place Saturday night. I planned the rally with other people that Cynthia just talked about that took place the next day. By the way, there were 3 police officers there, but I can see why Cynthia didn't see them, because they were in the background with the car on the edge of the park, and they didn't intrude, even though I invited them to join us, and that went very fine. So we know what we organize and know what we don't, and we know when we're individuals, and we know what we intend, and none of the things were on the agenda that day. The second issue, as I see it, is this. In the absence of an obvious emergency or existing violence, in order to conscientiously follow an order of a police officer, is a quiet and peaceful person standing in a public place entitled to know who is confronting him and the reason why he is ordered to leave that area without further explanation or understanding, because that is a succinct statement of what the fact and issue is in this matter as it begins before the force is used. As a comparison, how do we raise our children to respond to such a situation? Suppose such a person who refuses to identify himself would give an order to my child to do as he says. Would I instruct my child to blindly obey without further ado? I don't believe most parents in our American democracy educate their children to react in that way, and we are brought up not to react in that way. Take another example. Should lawyers and judges in a court of law impose their will in such a coercive or compulsive way? It wouldn't be in accord with our understanding of a free, just, peaceful, and equal society. Finally, would I suggest to my philosophy, political science, or history students at Purdue, Villanova, Notre Dame, or Pikes Peak Community College that it is appropriate to obey without questioning an order from an unidentified person, whether in a uniform or not? No. Professors of logic and critical thinking teach their students to, 1, have persons who approach them identify themselves. 2, then state their request. 3, then evaluate their request. 4, after which, make an informed choice based on a rational understanding of the requester's reasoning. And 5, then and only then, act in accordance with the accrued information. This can take place in the event that we are talking about here today, in the absence of an immediate threat, violence, or an emergency. That is the way Americans do things in dignity and in respect for others.